we've seen the same thing with SEO, where there has been changes of, again, how the Google algorithm has
Mhm.
worked over time, even before AI that has happened, but like very drastically
Mhm.
recently. And I think it's a time for businesses to look at marketing more holistically instead of saying, my marketing is going to be this one thing. Welcome back, everyone, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Liz.
Happy New Year.
So what are we going to be talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about what 2025, so what last year taught us about small business marketing.
Okay, all right. I'm sure we're going to go into quite a few different things, right? It's been a year of a lot of like twists and turns and new changes.
Yeah, no, definitely there has been. So it's been a big year for small business marketing, but I also think it was a fun year for
Hmm.
small business marketing, at least for me.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
very excited about that.
All right, so let's jump into it.
Sure.
I want to start talking about the biggest takeaways that we had from 2025 and what we're going to choose to bring into this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know that you're going to talk a little bit about AI because
Hmm.
that's just you love talking about AI, but so for me, I think I'm going to take storytelling.
Hmm.
So storytelling has been a buzzword in marketing, especially social media marketing, for a couple of years now,
Yeah.
actually. But it's gotten to a point where it is really no longer it'd be nice to have. It is a have to have.
Uh-huh.
And I think that that's very interesting because we've gone through a lot of iterations on social in particular, because that is mostly what I'm going to be speaking to.
Hmm.
Um, of if you just educate your audience if you just educate your audience, eventually they will trust you enough to buy from you.
Yeah.
And that's not wholly incorrect, but the framing in which you do it has dramatically shifted. So it's no
Hmm.
longer a three things you should know necessarily. It is
Uh-huh.
a story with education involved as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference between like videos that you see going well, like Donovan, what you know
Oh,
the
yeah,
guy I'm
yeah, I
talking
do.
about.
Yeah,
Like his platform is education.
yeah. Uh-huh.
But the way he does the education, he
Hmm.
tells stories. And that's
Yes.
why he has grown as fast as he has. And
Hmm.
also just the consistency and that sort
Hmm.
of thing, which is something I'll talk about later with takeaways as well. But like the storytelling aspect, the expectation of how we tell stories for both business and for content creators, although they're not the same thing, that's a big thing for this year
Hmm.
or for last year.
Absolutely. I think on my end, like you said, I mean, there's a lot with AI that happened over the last year. I think we're witnessing not only, I mean, there's a lot of tools out there that have allowed businesses to not quite, or business owners and entrepreneurs, not quite to clone themselves, but to increase their reach
Mm-hmm.
in ways. And they've had different levels of success. But, seeing the market flooded with those, trying to understand which ones are going to help us, which
Yeah.
ones are, and they might vary, and they do vary based on like the industry and the service provided and all that. Particularly in SEO, that's
Mm-hmm.
been a big change. That's probably been the biggest change that has affected me, because now the way that your website ranks on searches is not tied to Google, which it has been. I mean, Google is the behemoth in the
Mm-hmm.
industry. It, largely other search engines go ignored in SEO strategies just because they play such a small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're seeing AI tools just rise there. And as a result, we're paying more attention to how to rank websites in those tools. And Google, by implementing Gemini in their own search,
Mm-hmm.
now some of those strategies are shifting as well, because you have a strategy to rank above the fold for the AI answer, and
Mm-hmm.
then a strategy for below it.
Yeah. No, that's a big change.
Yeah, so it's and I think a lot of that mentality. I mean, how you rank for those tools changes,
Mm-hmm.
and has changed already.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to continue to see an evolution on that, and I think that is a strategy that is worth doubling down this next year in 2026. So should be some fun getting
Yeah.
into that. But let's get into the thick of it. So trends in marketing that surprised us. Is
Yeah.
there anything that caught you off guard this year?
I mean, there's been some like gimmicky stuff kind of that has in the social space,
Hmm.
but honestly, not nothing super crazy. I think that what you've mentioned before, which
Hmm.
you'll talk about in a sec, is definitely one of them. But also
Well, tell me your perspective on it.
on
'Cause
AI slop.
AI slop, yes.
Uh, I, so AI generated video. I have a couple of different feelings about depending on how it's used,
Hmm.
right? So like some of like there's this I don't even know the handle, but it's like the story that like humanizes these cats and runs them through. Like I think that's funny.
Uh-huh.
I think that's fun. I think that's
Yeah.
basically like I see it as pure entertainment, and that's
Hmm.
totally cool. I have other feelings around AI videos generated to look similar to people or
Hmm.
like to like be pretending to be people and that sort like I
Okay.
have things that roam into like that deep fake but better sort of thing like
Uh-huh.
that I have less positive sentiments
Uh-huh.
towards.
Yeah.
But I think it also like the amount of content that is generated by AI because of that, it's increased competition,
Hmm.
but it's also made it to where the algorithms in different social media platforms are prioritizing different things, right?
Yeah.
So they are looking at stuff um like Instagram came out a couple of months ago, we are prioritizing original content.
Hmm.
Well, that's because of this, right?
Yeah.
Like they're making sure
Hmm.
that or they're trying to reward creators that are creating content on their
Yeah.
platforms and that sort of thing. So it creates an interesting sort of dynamic. So that's kind of
Hmm.
my long-winded thoughts on that.
Yeah. No, and I see that as well. And like, so one of the stock photography sites I use, iStock, they have now in the middle of every page it says, we do not accept AI generated content in here as well. So I mean, that
Good.
I think that is a trend that we're seeing too. That like, AI generated content is so uh, achievable, attainable by just about everyone. Um, but it has some ethical issues.
Hmm.
And,
Oh yeah.
I think we're seeing that like there's some platforms that are doubling down on saying, hey, we want to focus on original content.
I think Etsy is one of them too. I think I saw like on Etsy
Hmm.
that you're not supposed to like sell AI generated stuff or something of that nature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I think like so AI slop is definitely that's the one that caught me off guard because I've been seeing like since AI started like have you seen like the Will Smith eating spaghetti thing, which is like the test for like, oh, look at how far AI video has come, right? That first year it just kind of looked like spaghetti was like merging with him and he had a
Hmm.
billion teeth and at the end of and then at the end of last year it was already a lot better, right? It kind of looked like a human eating spaghetti. I don't think I've seen the latest updated one. There's probably going to be one that someone puts out at the end of this year uh, to wrap it up and just
Hmm.
again say how far it's come. Um, I think we're seeing like there's AI video presented when it's, when people know what they're doing and where, it's carefully tailored. There's a billion prompts to generate it. We see it in ads like, Cocoa Run ads and all that. And it's almost, I mean, it is gimmicky because they're not doing it because it saves them time or money. Like when you read how many prompts Coke had to use to generate their ad, it's like an astronomical number of people working on just creative prompts just to say that they had an ad that was AI generated.
Hmm.
Um, but I think the fact that the perception of AI generated videos has shifted to be a negative.
Mm.
Um, I don't think that's exactly where we were at this time last year.
Yeah, see, I agree with that. I think that the negative around it is the spirit in which it is created. I really do think that that's a thing. Like, I don't think people have as big of issues with like entertainment based, like creativity
Hmm.
based stuff. But yeah, there's a trust factor
Yeah.
there that's a little bit
Hmm.
like I'm not a huge fan, as I mentioned, I'm not a huge fan of AI generated video that is trying to replicate a person and be a person instead of the person shooting the
Yeah.
video. I don't really like that,
Hmm.
and it gives me the ick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, no,
But the
that is
promise was that would be that, Liz, you can create the digital clone of yourself and then you just type it and your clone will say what you could be saying, but you don't have to, you don't need the lights in the room or whatever.
see the thing is that I literally sat in a conference in September and listened to a session specifically on creating an AI video clone.
Hmm.
And how to prompt it and how to do it. And the clone that was shown was great.
Hmm.
Like it was is really interesting, but Still gross. Still
Yeah.
don't like it. Like, and I know that like I should probably be a little bit more like early adopter style to it, but it
Hmm.
just I think one of the things I like about social is the community and the like potential for realness.
Hmm.
Not everybody decides to go with the realness, but the
Yeah.
potential for realness. So that's like the opposite of the direction that I would want this to go.
Yeah. I no, and I understand and I agree, and I think that with, like you said, I like that some of the videos that are more like cartoony or created in the spirit of like fun or satire,
Yeah.
versus the ones that are trying to um, misrepresent someone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the scary part of like those video AI tools.
Oh yeah.
I do think that there is a generational shift with it. Like my kids, for instance, when they see a video of something outlandish, they their first thought is this is not real,
Yeah.
as opposed to maybe like my generation and older. It's like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. I can't believe you said that.
And you're like, yeah, mine I think is like where I don't I don't believe most of what I see on the internet anymore. And I haven't for several years, but
Hmm.
especially as things are getting more real, like be
Yeah.
like, oh, like that. I remember that like transformation happening in my mind actually
Uh-huh.
because there were like all of these like cool animals and stuff that they were showing, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, that's so neat. I can't believe we did. It was AI stuff,
Yeah.
and like as I slowly started realizing that, I started applying it to other things. Is it's like no, there is not this deep underwater fish with like I wish there was. That's pretty cool,
Uh-huh.
but no.
Yeah. I mean, the internet has a long history of trying to get people to believe into things that are not real.
I
Like
know.
that has happened for a long time. So it's good to have our guardrails up, but it's also where a lot of people go for downtime. And
Mhm.
that, that means, we're looking more to being a train, but switching this back into business,
Right, yeah,
I
sorry,
think,
y'all.
yeah, one of the things with using the realistic, photorealistic type of videos is, I think with those, there's still this uncanny valley, which is the term for when something doesn't quite pass the test of us seeing it as
Doesn't
real.
quite feel right.
Even though it looks human, like there's always something like the skin is too clear, the hand motions are not natural. Like that's a big thing with the AI digital clones. They have gotten a lot better with like the mouth movement and all that. If you look at the hands are like woo,
So she
moving
actually
willy nilly.
the person who taught the thing for us actually talked specifically about how to make that happen less. But for me,
You crop it closer, right up here. Don't show below the chin.
for me, it's this like weird, like iridescent, like glowiness that comes
Yeah.
off a lot of them. I'm like,
Hmm. Yeah.
you must really like body glitter. Like I
Mm.
don't
Yeah.
like.
Perfect skin and blurred backgrounds. Totally doesn't look like there's crack paint anywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, that's definitely.
okay, so all right, let's move on from AI slop and into
We stayed there for a while.
yeah. Okay, so what lessons did you see small businesses learn the hard way in 2025?
Okay, so we talk about quality versus quantity when it
Hmm.
comes to content marketing.
Yes.
That's a thing we talk about all the time. And unfortunately, we are now at a point where the answer is both.
Hmm.
And that sounds really unrealistic, which is fair. Um, but with the amount of competition that's out there, quality and quantity both actually really do matter. And so, if you can't do a high volume of high quality content, which is a normal problem to be having as a
Hmm.
small business owner, um, picking which one based on the industry you're in.
Mm.
Like, you cannot be a high end luxury brand or be trying to go after luxury customers and be producing an astronomical amount of thoughtless content. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, but that's the thing is, though, we have like a lot of gurus out on
Hmm.
social that are, oh, well, you just need to like slap this on this audio and with this thing. And that's not how that type of marketing works.
Uh-huh.
And so you have to focus in on your quality. Whereas, you know what, if you're a landscaping company that's going after like the middle of the road, like we mow lawns and like trim hedges, and that's like, you know, that like that
Hmm.
you're kind of more standard. Like if you produce a bunch of time-lapse stuff with a title over the top, that is gonna be a lot better received,
Hmm.
than necessarily needing to do this color graded paste and like scripted out video for that industry.
Uh-huh.
So, but what you see is you see people blindly following like the advice of content creators who their entire business is creating content, which is a different thing than being a small business owner, um, who will pitch quantity to everybody, and that's not fair, or
Hmm.
they'll pitch quality to everybody, and that's not reasonable, even though you don't want it to like be absolutely garbage, but
Yeah.
like but picking that based on your industry is something that I've seen businesses miss this year, is putting themselves in the wrong category, because both are important. You need to do both,
Yeah.
but which one you lean depends on your industry.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think when I'm looking at, hard lessons, I think we've seen businesses that have too many eggs in one basket.
Hmm.
So they are saying, hey, I'm going to double down, let's say, on Google Ads, and that'll be my marketing is going to be just centered around there. And then you get to see like algorithm changes or dips and things that affect that. And all of a sudden, Google Ads are not as efficient as they were before for that industry, or there's more players coming in and bidding on those keywords, and your price is going up, and their business takes a dive because they were so focused on that one category. And so I think, we've seen the same thing with SEO, where there has been changes of, again, how the Google algorithm has worked over time, even before AI that has happened, but like very drastically
Hmm.
recently. And I think it's the time for businesses to look at marketing more holistically instead of saying my marketing is going to be this one thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, a really great example of that was the TikTok ban stuff this year
Yeah.
or last year. We're not batch creating this content at all, but the TikTok ban that was in 2025, like
Hmm.
that kept coming and going, and like it did shut down for a day and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like businesses that only created their content on TikTok almost lost all of their marketing in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
So I think that that absolutely is true. Like that people will put too much into one thing and not diversify and not focus in also on building things that they own that can't be taken from
Exactly. Yeah. Email.
them. Hmm.
Okay, so what was a marketing win that you saw, either from a client or within your own business, that you think others can learn from?
Well, I think that one that we can both speak to like very confidently is a business development organization that we both worked with as a
Hmm.
client. And so I did the social and meta advertising component. You were more in charge of the project
Hmm.
itself.
Yeah.
Um, but it was the incorporation of meta advertising and instant ad forms,
Yeah.
because what we ended up getting to was, so what we were selling basically
Hmm.
was a membership. We were trying to get
Hmm.
people to sign up for a membership, and they
Yeah.
had to submit forms and all this other stuff. And when we added in instant forms through meta advertising, we saw our applications go up by quite a lot.
Yes, significantly,
Yeah, like
exponentially.
and at like not a super high spend.
Yeah.
And what I find interesting about that though is actually the opportunity that we didn't take,
Hmm.
which is, so we had the instant form, which means that when they clicked on the ad, we got their contact information. We got whatever they had used to sign up for Facebook or Instagram got pulled into that form. And it was their name and their email address, I think, was all we collected. I don't think we went for phone number.
No, I don't think so.
When we didn't have SMS stuff set up anyways.
Hmm.
But then, it would send, so that it submitted that, and then we went to a landing page
Hmm.
where they could learn more about the application.
Yeah.
This allowed us to grow our email list, so people that didn't immediately submit an application, we could follow up with them. But then it also did something very interesting where it started a Facebook message with them, and that's something that we didn't actually capitalize on.
Yeah.
So even though it went up substantially and it was not a crazy spend, I think we were spending like $500 a month or
Hmm.
something. Like it was not a crazy spend. Um, we we have so much space to like follow up and nurture and continue the conversion rate. And it's also a lesson I'm learning with another client right now, is leveraging forms and that follow up to increase the conversion rate on an initial investment. And so I think that that's something small business owners can really take something
Yeah,
from.
absolutely. And I guess I'll double down a little bit and share that. there were other marketing initiatives that we did with that project that we tracked separately to see like the impact that they had. And I think what we found out, because we started with organic, which gave us results that we're very happy with, and when we added in the meta ad spend, that just took us to another level.
Hmm.
And then we started doing other initiatives and seeing like how everything kind of came together from, PR to some email marketing to Google Ads, and they all kind of played their own role in like, elevating
Hmm.
the reach. But we were also able to look back after we had been doing it for a little bit and throw back to the last episode, right? And doing the audit and figuring out there is an opportunity. Like, here's how certain things are performing to see where we're getting most of our ROI so that we can, go ahead and focus on that as we're moving forward.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a very cool project. It's fun when you get to work with other marketing people that you get on with though, because
Hmm.
then you get to have those collaborative conversations and see more about how each of the pieces play together, which is not always something you get to do.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. But what else did you see as far as a win that you think others can learn from?
So AI SEO was a definite win, just from the standpoint of like both investing in the future, but also seeing like some results already in the present. Right. When I had a couple clients who were found through AI SEO, through people going on ChatGPT, and we know that because we tracked it right in our form. There would be either a space for how'd you find out about us, or we can see where, from looking at analytics, which page,
UTM.
yeah,
Yeah.
UTM, how do you get redirected? So we're able to see that people were coming from AI searches, that happened like I think fairly early on to the year, like maybe before the summer break. And it was really surprising.
You know what? I changed my mind. That's what I was surprised about because my SEO stuff has been, on my website because I have not
Hmm.
invested a lot of time into it for several years. But as soon as people started using chat,
Hmm.
like Chat GPT or AI to search for things, I started getting a lot more. I started getting more traffic
Yeah.
because apparently the way I had been doing SEO without knowing it,
Hmm.
AI liked better than Google did.
Yeah. Well, and I think that oh man, that's going to bring us to the next question,
Oh, fabulous.
which is about how AI changed marketing this
Mm-hmm.
year, or AI or automation. And the reason, going back to your example of why you started getting those inquiries, is because AI, like Google, the way that Google search outside of Gemini understands websites, it's trying to figure out like if you are an authority, if your website's an authority in a certain subject or not. And so Google is able to, it basically looks at keywords, right? And keywords that go together. So let's say the example of Apple, right? If you write a blog about Apple,
Mm-hmm.
Google cannot tell the difference between if you're talking about Apple the fruit or Apple the company, the tech company, uh, except by like it can tell if you're trying to rank for Apple tech company versus Apple orchard in Atlanta. That's how we can tell what is one thing versus what is the other thing. It's got to do with the words around. Whereas AI looks at more as an entity and is able to understand from the context of all that's there what it is. So your content, because it's written by a human for humans, AI is just going to perform better there than your traditional SEO stuff.
Did you just compliment my copywriting?
I
Because I think
did,
that's what you
yeah.
did. No, that does make sense. That does make sense. But that is something that I thought was very, very interesting was
Hmm.
was how that started happening.
Yeah.
I think for me, how AI or automation, which I do think it's an important little caveat that a lot of things say AI when they mean automation.
Yeah.
That's still a thing that's very much happening in a lot of the tools. Is this kind of we're not necessarily clarifying the difference between the two.
Yeah.
um, and so for me, so with AI, with your language models, right? They have made creating content a heck of a lot faster
Hmm.
for businesses. Make sure that you're still playing the supervisor role in
Yeah.
all of that, but it definitely has changed like how much content we can put out. It's part of the reason why I said the quality versus quantity thing that I
Hmm.
was saying earlier. Um, and the other thing that this is not new to 2025, but it was a big thing for me in
Hmm.
2025. So like I want to,
Yeah.
I it, automation and tagging within like my drip campaign sequencing and stuff like that. I know that's been a thing. I know it has been, But I also know that when I was talking about it with people, nobody was acting like it was a thing that everybody's been doing.
No, yeah,
So that is something that, like, if you have a CRM or a mailing list or something like that, that is a opportunity that you may be missing out on. That's not as complicated and scary as it sounds once you actually start getting
yeah.
into it. Where you can kind of customize or have things going out at a frequency. It can help you
Mhm.
maximize your ads. I mean, like that
Yeah.
sort of thing. So that's the automation, not AI component of it.
Yeah, automation is such a great tool. Like, I mean, there's a lot of different platforms you can use, but there's some things that you can set them once
Mm-hmm.
and then you're kind of done with it. It's a little bit of a set it and forget it, right? You go back to tweak it and adjust it, but you can have an onboarding sequence that's not going to change drastically, or a
Mm-hmm.
follow-up sequence. And, if you just take the time to set those up.
Invoicing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my kryptonite. We don't need to go into that. Okay, so what is one thing that we all overcomplicated this last year in 2025 that should be simpler?
I feel like you're asking all the questions and answering second, so it's your turn to answer first this time.
Darn, okay. So sure, a process that I went through just a few weeks back at this point.
Mhm.
Too many tools. We got too many tools. There's all these promises of all these AI tools that are going to make things easier, save you a ton of money. But I think there's one point where you tip the scales of them being useful to not being useful, of it being
Mhm.
too much.
Oh yeah.
If you have a lot of different tools that you didn't take the time to train on, then are you really benefiting from them, or are you just buying new tools and subscribing to things you're going to forget about and keep paying for a while?
You mean the shiny, but it's shiny and it's
Yeah,
fun and it's new.
yeah, shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
tools are. I think I actually had a conversation with somebody who specializes in AI, and her name is escaping me right now. But we were talking about AI and automation, and what she had said to me was that she gets asked all the time, which AI tool should I use? Like, which AI tool should I have? And instead of having a set list of tools that you would explain, her response was, well, what problem are you trying to solve?
mhm.
Where is there an issue?
Yeah,
So, I mean, obviously, it's fun and good to explore technology just for the sake of exploring technology, but also from a small business perspective, it's where is there an issue, or where is something getting stuck? Where are you having a bottleneck? Where are you having an efficiency problem? And then using a tool to fit that instead of just getting tools for tools.
exactly.
Like that, that's a very, I thought that was a very interesting perspective.
That's a great way to put it, because I think often, like, I get tools served to me in two ways. Either, I mean, typically either it's like a Facebook ad, like I apparently Facebook. I don't go on Facebook much, but whenever I do, it is always an AI wrapper. Which, if you don't know what it is, an AI wrapper is, it's like there's these tools where essentially a company will come. Let's say, hey, we're going to do the XZ AI wrapper. We would basically buy API access to ChatGPT, to Leonardo, to Perplexity, to Gemini, and build an interface around so that our users can pay us, say, $20 a month that you pay ChatGPT, but you'd have access to all these different tools. Now, the trick is, well, it's fewer prompts a month, right?
Hmm.
But you do have access to more tools. But I get those served a lot.
Interesting. I don't get
Um,
served those at all.
yeah, I do, and I've never bought one, but I've looked at several because I have friends who use them
Mm.
and who swear by them. And I am more of a volume versus variety guy
Hmm.
in the sense, so I prefer the volume that I get from a single subscription.
Right. Yeah.
But there's like it's tools like that that'll get served, and sometimes it's like, oh, here's a build your digital video clone. Oh, that'd be cool. What am I going to use that for, though?
Yeah, that's like that would be fun to play with.
Yeah, not necessarily. If there's not a business case for it, stay away from it.
Yeah, yeah, that is a it's definitely true because it also I mean those software tools like software subscriptions add up.
Yeah, they do.
Like, oh my goodness, yeah. So I completely agree on the tools thing. I also think that something that we overcomplicate is we overcomplicate our social content.
Mm,
Um, because although there is a certain level that like because there is so much access to all of these tools that we kind of do need to hit, a small business is in most cases not a content creator.
mhm.
And we complicate things by trying to run our small business marketing as if it is our only job. And so all of these like little tactics and trends and like little like shiny objecty stuff,
Hmm.
it's not helping your business.
Yeah.
If you because if you got to think about opportunity cost.
Yes.
It's not that it's not, again, it's not that it won't help you grow your social, but the opportunity cost of going down the rabbit hole to do that one trend that did that, like, it, you're a business.
Hmm.
So acting like a business, the business case for your marketing. And if that makes sense. I think that's where we get a little lost in the sauce.
I agree. I agree. Okay, so now we're at the point where we get to wrap up this episode.
We do.
Okay, so if you had to sum up 2025 marketing into one word, which word would you use?
Balance. And I say balance because this year has been about balancing different things.
Hmm.
You've got AI to human,
Yeah.
using AI to AI to optimize and be more efficient, but then not losing that human element so that you don't lose part of what makes small business great, which is that it is a small
Yes.
business. That is a, that is people, your quantity and your quality, finding the
Hmm.
balance that works best for your industry. Like, for me, this has been very much a year of striking a balance between two things that are at opposite ends of a spectrum.
Hmm. For me, it would be noise.
Mm.
Noise in marketing and in content increases every year,
Hmm.
right? I mean, that's just objectively true. But I feel
Yeah.
like this year, for same reasons that you mentioned, AI tools that are now accessible to everyone, this increasing culture of content creation, of video, and all that just means that there's like more and more content being created than people to watch.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of noise this year. That would be my word of the year. But it also goes to say that like the quality content will rise to the top. The
Hmm.
quality marketing will rise to the top. The quality marketing services and all that are going to be what help businesses stand out.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, my turn.
Let's go.
So as we have finished 2025, we're heading into 2026. We're starting strong. What is your intention for your own marketing?
So my goal for this year is to double down on content. So it's
Okay.
something that I started investing more last year.
Hmm.
Written content, video content on social, on my website, on other online avenues. I
Hmm.
want to invest more time and effort into content, into developing more quality content, but also just more
Yeah.
in numbers. I think per your example earlier about like the content that you wrote a long time ago that AI started reading it.
Hmm.
We're now at the point where good quality stuff is going to help, even if you might not necessarily be writing it for SEO. It might not rank as well as content that's written for SEO or for AI SEO, but I think it'll help.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing more on the quality of what I'm putting out there versus anything else, right? So that first, numbers, and then focusing in on strategy.
I love that. Okay, that's great. For me, honestly, mine's a little bit similar.
Hmm.
I want to be more consistent.
Okay.
I've gone
Yeah.
through bouts where like I'm really publishing and
Hmm.
then bits where I'm not. And so I end up a little bit looking like the cobbler's kid with no shoes. And
Uh-huh.
we're not going to keep doing that moving forward because I alluded to this a couple episodes back, but like my lead generation and stuff like that, like also looks a little whoop whoop,
Hmm.
like back and forth and that sort of thing. And so that consistency piece, I think, is going to be a big deal for me coming into this year.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Well, so we're hoping it's going to be a good year for both of us and for
Yeah.
all of you listening as well. And with that, we are done. So
Yep.
we'll see y'all next time.